Are you ready for the most kick-ass sports show ever? Introducing Kevin the Drumming Sex Appeal. Matt the All-Star Athlete. Tim the Red Bell Pepper kind of guy. Manny who misses the layup. And Otis from back at the barnyard. This is the Wildcasters.
What's going on, everyone?
What's up? We're back.
Yeah, we got another normal
Manny,
episode.
say hi to the camera.
What up?
Jimmy, you too. Okay.
We got another normal episode of Wildcasters. We got a lot of topics to get into today, but first, we gotta show off the bling that
It returned, yeah.
It's officially baseball season, so the 24 karat
Show the
24
camera.
karat gold hat is back. This thing cost me a hot $5,000.
Yep. Kev's got that money to spend.
How much did you actually spend on it?
It's like $20.
But what about Matt?
Then it's not 24 karat gold.
Matt's
Yeah, it
repping
is.
the St. Patrick's theme.
That's right. I don't know why Kevin
Also-
said baseball season officially starts, because you could either say that at the beginning of spring training, you can say that when pitchers and catchers report, you can say it at the beginning of the actual season, but he just decided to say it in the middle of spring training, which makes no sense whatsoever. So I am actually repping St. Patrick's Day, since we're the whole month of March, I'll be in my green. That's all that needs to be explained. Got the White Sox hat as well. Very epic.
Manny's still
Happy
repping
St.
the
Patrick's Day. Gonna
boys.
get hammered after the show. Yeah!
It's not true, Aurora University. I'm not gonna get hammered.
No, Jimmy's gonna be tipping over walking to his game today.
He's got a
hey
game
man, I'm
today.
gonna drop 30. Put me in, coach! If you don't walk in like that, Jimmy, I'm gonna be disappointed with you.
Like missing a shoe, just like stumbling.
Alright, let's get, what were you saying to Manny, or what's going on?
You still repping the boys?
I'm repping my boys. My boys always wear blue, and I love the Cubs.
And then,
Yep, and
But the hoodie is
unfortunately,
black.
who's going to be your quarterback in a couple years?
Okay, let's
Dak Prescott.
get into the actual show, except Jimmy.
What
you're
about
not
yours?
repping
Who's
your
your
show.
quarterback?
I
Yeah,
got
got
my AAU team. I wanted to mix up a jersey, something that none of these guys have seen before. So, I mean, I don't really care about
We were
baseball.
blown away.
Yeah.
Alright, let's get into it. So we'll be talking, what are we talking, Timmy?
we're gonna be, what?
We
The
have
White
a
Sox?
No.
Yeah, I know, I had this
You
one.
said it's officially baseball season. You
I know.
established that.
No, we got our new candle of the week.
Oh, is it new?
It is new.
What,
The
what
viewer's
is that?
favorite part, or
Why does it
part
look
of the
used,
show.
Kevin?
It does look used.
Maybe they used it.
Okay.
It's new to the show.
Okay, at least tell us the scent.
Tell them.
Shamrock.
And yeah,
Tell
look at the
them.
look at the
The scent today, there's no logo on the candle. I'm sorry, guys.
Shamrock juice.
The logo today is Irish Cum.
Oh my God, Kev, why do you say that? What are you doing? Why do you have to lie to our viewers like that?
It's made from vanilla.
You know
scent.
kids watch our show, Kev.
go
That's
back
the
to
majority
week
of
one.
our fan base.
How are you gonna
Little
explain that
kids.
to Lisa?
It was
when
your
Landon,
pick.
When Landon says to Lisa, "Hey,
I didn't
hey,
pick
Mommy,
it, they
I want
did."
Shamrock come in there."
They picked the candle. I didn't.
No,
if you
we
go
didn't.
back to week one, it's the exact same candle.
Yeah, it's Fraser fur. It's the first candle we use. Kevin.
We got it at
He's
Lover's
got-
Lane.
he's
It's
got
an
this,
oldie
like,
but a
messed
goodie.
up
I don't know what to
kinda-
tell you.
Yeah, Kev's demented. Okay.
Don't be fooled. We got it at Lover's Lane.
Let's get
move
into
on.
this NBA segment.
Yeah, but first topic we're getting into, we're going to be talking about NBA. We're focusing on these two teams that are, one's surprisingly doing bad, the other one is surprisingly doing well. We got the New York Knicks and the Boston Celtics.
That's right.
The Knickerbockers.
And then
Yeah,
we'll
the
just kind of
Knickerbockers.
transition into general NBA talk with All-Star Weekend being this weekend, kind of first half of the season, debunking. So put like 25 minutes on that clock, Timmy.
Jeez.
We'll put on like 15 and then we'll transition into the other and we'll be good. All right, we'll let Jimmy start because he's our basketball analyst.
Yep. It's the only reason I'm here.
Are you still seeing?
Hit
So-
it to us,
Yeah,
Team
don't worry,
Smith.
Kev.
Shut up.
The viewers love you, okay?
So basically, the team that is not doing good is my Boston Celtics, which is disheartening to say. But the team that is doing surprisingly well, led by Matt's own Kentucky Julius Randle, is the New York Knicks.
And Emmanuel quickly. So how about you talk a little more Celtics, I'll talk a little more Knicks.
Okay, go.
Perfect.
So,
Daniel, baby.
but first we need to preference the fact that the East is very close. It's quite top heavy with the Sixers, the Nets, and all them. But between the 4th and the 8th seed, there are only 2 games, and the Bulls, who are the 9th seed at the moment, are only 2.5 games away from being the 4th seed. And the reason, I actually went into some advanced stats just to show how cool I am and what I do on a Friday night. But the Celtics can't guard this year. That's their biggest problem. Their offense is usually about the same. It's the same firepower they always have. But they have a defensive rating of 112.7, which if you don't know what that means, it's how many points they allow on average 100 possessions. And that it's the worst it's been in the history of the team. So they're having a historically bad defensive season, and that's currently the key of why they can't close out teams.
Now I've been
Aren't
hearing.
Aren't they missing their best defender? Smart.
Still,
He's been out, yeah.
Yeah, he has been out. That's true. But as a team, they've been like hovering around 100. They're averaging like 10 more points than they usually did last year, which just can't happen. I mean, for any team.
Okay. Now I've been hearing a lot of slander on Kemba Walker. What do you think of him? Is he helping the team? Is he hurting the team? What's going on?
He's had a very shaky season. I can give you that. He's been hurt, and he doesn't help the defensive problem. But when you sign Kemba Walker, you got to know that he's not the best defender.
Mm-hmm.
But he's starting to get his rhythm back, and once he starts firing on all cylinders like he does on offense, and we do get Marcus Smart back, I think everything's going to be fine.
Yeah, I think the Celtics.
The reason they've been doing better is because Kemba's playing better.
Exactly. He's finally starting to get his groove back.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people were freaking out. Oh, why'd they get rid of Kemba for Rozier? I told you should have kept Rozier. And yeah, that's true to a degree. I like Terry Rozier. I'm a big fan of him. But ultimately, if you go way back to our predictions, I actually had the Celtics winning the East, or the second in the East, because the Bucks are kings of the regular season. And that's not really playing out right now. We'll get to that in a little bit. But I do think the Celtics will get back on track because they are a very talented team led by 2 young studs in Tatum and Brown. But again, defense, it's not really prevalent in the NBA, but you still need it nonetheless. Manny, you got anything on the Celtics?
Celtics? No. Bucks? I said
We're
this.
We're not on the Bucks. Matt, you have something to say about the...
Yeah, so I'll talk a little bit about the New York Knicks. Now, a while ago, Kevin denies that I said this now because it's actually coming more to fruition. But I said that way back when the Knicks didn't get their number 1 pick in Zion Williamson, and that was the offseason that Kawhi went to the Clippers, I said that the New York Knicks would win an NBA championship before the Clippers did. And Timmy and Kevin were like, "Oh, you're insane! What are you talking about, man?" And I was like, here's my reason. Well, my reasoning was LeBron is still in the league, so that will likely just take the Clippers out of contention, and then I'll just bet that maybe even 30 years down the line the Knicks will win. But I also really liked their young core, which was not really at the time centered around Julius Randle, but Julius Randle was a big piece. And now he is coming into light as an NBA star. He's a first-time All-Star this year. I recognize the potential at Kentucky. The dude's averaging 23, 11, and 5. I mean, as a power forward, as a center, as a big man. Okay, they also have great length and youth in Mitchell Robinson. They've got a bunch of young talent surrounding this team in the forms of R.J. Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly, who I'll get to in a second. What's his face? My other boy from Kentucky's not doing so well. Kevin Knox, but Obi Toppin's another young guy. And then they have some veterans in there who might be the best, like Alfred Payton. I'm not a huge fan of him, but they do have guys like Derrick Rose, Austin Rivers, guys who've been around the league for a while. So this Knicks team is really looking good. I'm glad to see that. It's good to see a staple NBA franchise back into playoff contention, and it really is because of this man, Julius Randle. But
Can I stop you there?
Go ahead.
Just to add on to your young core, obviously Julius Randle has shown flashes of potential, but he's only just now breaking out. I think we can all agree on that. But if you don't want to give up on him, you have a great defensive and playmaking guard in Frank Ntilikina that just isn't playing much. But I feel like if you give him the shot, he can still shine and have kind of a later blossoming like Julius Randle. I just want to put it out there. Great defender. He just doesn't get played.
That's my one critique with the Knicks is they play Alfred Payton too much for some reason. He's not very good. He never really was. He's not horrible. He doesn't really hurt the team much. But he's not very productive.
He can't shoot. He plays defense and he gets assists, which
He's a playmaker.
Which Frank Ntilikina could do better if you give him the chance, and he plays better defense right now than Alfred Payton already does.
Right. So that's what I would say for the Knicks. But again, they have Coach Thibodeau who knows what he's doing with players, and so there's definitely a rhyme to his reason that I'm not really going to critique. What were you going to say?
To your championship point, as long as James Dolan is the owner of that team, they will never win a ring because no superstar wants to go there.
Well, again,
Because-
you don't need a superstar to win. You don't need a superstar to win.
I disagree.
How is every NBA team, every championship's had a superstar?
That's incorrect. 2004 Pistons.
My point being, last year, even the Heat, I don't think they have a superstar. They had stars, not a superstar. I'd
didn't
categorize
win,
a superstar. I know, but they got there, and they were close. They took 2 games to the Lakers, who, I mean, just completely out-talented them in every facet, pretty much, with that star duo of LeBron and AD. But, I think eventually the game shifts in eras, and right now I think you do need superstars to win. But, I mean, Julius Randle, there's your superstar right there. He puts on another 7 points per game. He's a superstar. We think 30 and 11 is a superstar and 23 and 11 isn't? Like, yeah, there's some validity to that.
7 points increase is a big ass, though.
There's validity to that statement. But again, it's still that same tier. He's still only 25. I mean, he still has a ton of potential and a ton of room to grow. And I think he will. But Emmanuel quickly, I think he should be. The only problem is he averages 19 minutes a game for some reason. And again, if you cut down on Peyton's minutes, you can put quickly in the game more. But he's the fastest rookie ever to hit 94 free throws out of 100. He's only missed 6 free throws this year, and it's crazy. He's great from the free throw line. He can score. He can play make.
Right.
He can shoot the 3 ball. He's got an unbelievable floater game. Just penetrates the lane. Very crafty. I think he's going to be a superstar. It's either him or Peyton Pritchard as the steal of the draft from these 2 teams.
As the late steal, I think the overall steal would probably go with Tyrese Halliburton for the Kings.
What was he drafted at 6 or 5?
12.
Oh, 12? Okay, then it might be that. But like the later steal then,
Yeah.
definitely either Quickly or Pritchard. And I was more high on Tyrese Maxey, who's been doing okay. He dropped that 40 ball in the game that he did start. But Emmanuel Quickly this year, he's averaging 12 points in 18 minutes. Again, that's pretty crazy. 2.5 assists. That's insane for a rookie. Only 1 turnover. He takes care of the ball. He's just a very solid fundamental player, and he's just fine. He's just scraping the surface of what he can be. And I think the Knicks have a very bright future. I don't know if they'll go anywhere this year per se, but again, you give Randall another year, and then maybe they do attract a superstar. Who knows? Next year, they see a good young core. Someone might want to come.
I'm sure people want to. That's like the best move James Dolan's had in quite a while was hiring Tom Thibodeau.
I just want to say, to go into Matt's thing, I also did some research on the Knicks. They have their best defensive rating with 108.8.
Not shocking with Thibodeau.
Since 2012, yeah, we know he is a defensive stud. But what you probably don't know is this is their most efficient offense in the history of the team, with averaging 109.2 per 100 possessions, which is something unique that we don't use. Thibodeau clearly doesn't usually focus on offense. He usually just had stars that could give him offense.
Right.
But he had to figure out a way to use people, and the emergence of Julius Randle has definitely really helped this team.
Manny, do you have...
The Knicks are pissed right now. They got motivated because ever since they saw the video of Stephen A. Smith that they needed to join the Knicks, they suddenly turned it on. So thank you,
Who
Stephen
cares about Stephen A. Smith?
Yeah, seriously, that's all you talk about all
No, I
the time.
don't.
Yeah.
Nah,
You and
switching.
Can you imagine if they had Kristaps still?
I mean, it
How
probably would have been different.
Then they would have been taking shots away from Randall because they play the same position.
I mean
And look at how
Imagine
well.
if they were a pick away from Zion.
Look at how well R.J. Barrett's doing fine. First of all, they were 2 picks away. R.J. Barrett was 3. John Morant was 2. But that's a whole other discussion. But Kristaps has been injured consistently for Dallas. He wouldn't be helping them.
I mean, everyone thought him and Luka would tear up the league, and they were quite dangerous last year when he did play. They beat the Clippers in those couple games in the playoffs, and then Kristaps goes down and they're done. But, I mean, again, if you can't really consistently stay healthy, you're a liability to your team.
Right.
Do we have anything else on the Celtics and Knicks specifically?
No, I think we can.
Because I think that would be a good transition into at least one of the things that I want to bring up now as a front runner for MVP in Joel Embiid. And I know you always ripped, because I always critique Joel Embiid because, one, he can't really consistently stay healthy, but that's not the biggest critique on him. My biggest critique on him always is he's a 7'2", 300-pound physical freak who chooses to play on the perimeter more than inside and physically dominate. This year, he is finally transitioning his game into a little more bump and bruise, and now he's even establishing a mid-range game where he's starting to look like KD.
Establishing. He
because
can't
Doc is
miss
his
from a
coach.
mid-range.
It's absolutely incredible. It's not because of Doc. It's not because of Doc Rivers. But I think it's just he is definitely adding more of a post game, and that's what he absolutely needed to do. I don't have his stats right in front of me. I'll pull them up right now, but they are definitely
like 29 and 11.
They are definitely MVP caliber stats.
Is he on your fantasy team, Kev? Joel? Oh,
Let
man.
me pull
The
up
one
the-
year he actually does well. I don't draft him.
And not injured.
So again, here's what I'm talking about. He's putting up 3 threes a game now, as opposed to 4 and 4.5 in years prior. So he's cutting down on those 3-point looks, which needs to happen, and he's scoring more. How does that happen? Kevin asks, because Kevin thinks threes equal more points, when that's not always necessarily true.
I mean, it technically is. 3 are more than 2.
Yes, but if you're hitting,
Thank you, Jimmy.
I mean, just by a pure number standpoint, yes.
right, but you're hitting what? 33% is an average clip for the 3 ball.
Yeah.
And what's an average clip for 2? You know, just field goals, like 40, 45?
45.
Okay.
45.
And what's the
like
big
50.
reason why they're shooting well? Oh, the other Curry brother.
I mean,
Seth?
Steph's been on a tear, but we're not talking about
I'm
Steph.
talking about Seth.
Okay, yeah, no, Seth is an absolute beast, and I say he's a better shooter than Steph Curry. I've made that argument for a while.
Wow.
He is.
But go
He's a
on.
better pure shooter. But again, my big thing with Embiid is I'm glad to finally see him add a post game, and I'm glad to see the Sixers. Well, not really the Sixers because I hate the city of Philadelphia, but it's nice to see your superstar kind of reach his potential by throwing it back a little bit and working in the post. And it's also nice to see him stretch it out and use that mid-range game.
This is it's fun that we brought this up because recently for my speech class I had to write a paper about, or I was writing a paper about informing stuff, and I wrote my paper about the evolution of the NBA big man, and I used Joel Embiid, and one of my sources brought up a stat. It was from ESPN. I think the name of the article was from Charles Barkley to Joel Embiid, and they talked about how Joel Embiid is currently leading the NBA in all of post touches with 10.7 a game, and the next closest is LaMarcus Aldridge with 9.4. So he is getting the most post touches by over an entire possession than any other team in the league, and that's really helping, having him putting up 30 now.
It helps that he is a great point guard, too. Like, great facilitator point guard, Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons, I don't like Ben Simmons. He's not that good.
He's a good passer.
Yeah, he's a good passer, but when he doesn't have the ball, what can he do?
On offense, what can he do? He's a very good defender.
He's an
I think.
incredible
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he sets up Joel. I mean, it's not like... And Joel sometimes...
I mean, I could get Joel the ball. Do you know how massive he is?
Again, yeah, I'm just glad to see them finally utilize his size to, the proper advantage. But that's the only thing I wanted to point out because, we were talking about health, long-term health. He hasn't been able to stay healthy. Fortunately, he has.
Yeah,
And I think it's an
now
asset.
he's been very healthy this
I
year.
think it's an asset when you have all superstars in the game healthy. So it's good to see Joel Embiid kind of producing now. But
Number 2 on the MVP list currently is Nikola Jokic, and he is a monster.
and he's always kind of been like that. He's also kind of similar. I'd like to see him even play in the post a little bit more, and he kind of does. He kind of plays high post, facilitator from that. I think he's even, he's proved that he's dangerous in the low post too. Going at Gobert last year in that series.
But I believe that him playing at the high post is much better than someone like an Embiid because whether we could talk about how great Embiid is all the time, but Embiid can't pass like that.
Oh,
You send a double team at him, he hesitates, he makes bad decisions. Jokic is a savant.
Yeah.
So you want him at that high post, so because obviously he could take it into the post, he could shoot it, or he could throw like a behind the back pass to Jamal Murray streaking. You want him to do whatever he can.
What's up, Kev?
Why is it that James Harden is just entering the MVP conversation?
Because he sucked in Houston, and Houston had 10 wins.
Okay, but that really should not count against him for this year.
Why?
Yes, it should because he was playing in those games. He just wasn't trying.
Okay, and now he's trying, and he's having arguably his best year.
That's why he's just now joining the MVP conversation.
But he
Good
should
try.
Also, James Harden's not even the best player on his team.
Yeah.
No, but he's playing the best right now.
Actually,
KD's hurt. He's
Yeah.
playing better than Kyrie.
But that's why he's now just in the conversation. 'Cause
Okay, and
when
what if he
Kevin
continues this tear and the Nets win the East?
Okay,
You think he should
if Kevin Durant comes back, because Kevin Durant's already putting up better stats, if Kevin Durant comes and plays at the same level while James Harden plays at the same level, I say Kevin Durant deserves the MVP over James Harden.
But he's been hurt.
And?
Manny, you must be thinking
Final
something.
thoughts.
He's played like
sort of
7
similar.
games.
Something
in the
sort of
past month.
similar. Like, what is the argument against an MVP on that Nets team?
Well, one thing, you have Kevin Durant. So
Who hasn't been playing, and the Nets have been on a tear without him.
weren't you literally sucking?
They
his
have
cock?
one loss without him.
I just
When Kyrie and Harden play together.
we know he's not
Yeah.
going to talk. I want to bring something up, though. we're talking about penalizing Kevin Durant for being hurt. Why shouldn't we penalize James Harden for not trying at the beginning of the school year? Or the school year.
How many games did he not play? Or how many games did he play before he went to the Nets?
He played in every game, but he wasn't
But how many
trying.
games?
Like 14?
Yeah, like 14.
When did he get traded?
14, 15.
Yeah.
It was like,
It's a good sample size.
Okay, yeah.
That's about the
if he
same.
is-
That's about the same that Kevin Durant's been injured right now. No, Kevin Durant's actually been injured less.
Okay, if he played, okay. Yeah, that'll probably count against him. I don't think it should, but it probably will.
I personally think it should, because you want to know what it shows? A lack of character. He's on a team that he's on his way out. He talks about how much he loves the city and how he's done everything he can, but when he's not
But
getting,
he still does.
but when he's not getting his way, he's just gonna go out there and I mean, obviously he's putting up as many shots as he usually does, but there's a difference between James Harden just going and just putting it up and then him doing his ISO to try and get open to put the shot up. We know the shot's going up, but he clearly wasn't playing. He wasn't putting in effort, and he was pouting like a little bitch. If we're being completely
We're
honest.
almost out.
And I think I think we could put that against him more than an injury, because James Harden willingly did that. Kevin Durant didn't choose to get hurt.
good point. The point I was trying to bring out of Manny was it's just going to be hard for even one of the Nets to win an MVP
Right.
because there's three big pieces. And so I think let's just talk about the All-Star Weekend since it's here. Just 2 minutes. You know, what do we think of three-point contestants, dunk contest, with the Quavo and the 2-on-2 celebrity
I'm
thing.
surprised we didn't have an All-Star game.
Kev,
Well,
who's gonna win? Team LeBron or Team KD?
Team LeBron is
Team LeBron.
significantly better, and it's not even close.
Steph is finally going to have a good All-Star game, and he's going to tear it up.
Why is that?
I don't know, just
Because he has
I feel
LeBron?
it's different. Maybe,
Because he has LeBron on his
LeBron
team?
passing to him. He's never
Is
had
he
LeBron
gonna
on
win
his team.
MVP then of the All-Star game? Yeah.
Yeah,
You
you
said
full
Dame.
prediction, Steph.
You said Dame would win All-Star Game MVP.
No, but you made
Depends
a
on
great
who
point
gets
of
in.
you made
You know,
a magnificent point of LeBron being on his team.
Yeah, when LeBron's on your team just becomes ungodly.
I mean,
He could go to the
All-Star
Pistons right
game.
now. He could go to the Pistons right now, and they'd be in the NBA Finals. Let's be
I
honest.
don't know about that.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, he probably could.
Well, no, especially now with Blake
Well,
Griffin being gone.
Well, no, I would say just
Yeah.
now with the Nets in the East. I don't know if that would happen, but that would be the only team that could possibly take him down.
What about the dunk contest?
Obi Toppin, Anthony Simmons,
Dude, always
and
somebody always gets.
and
Cassius Stanley.
Cassius Stanley wins that easily, in my opinion.
Then
I
will
don't
say-
know them in terms of dunking. I'll just say Obi Toppin because of the name. What?
I need to be off camera for a sec.
Why?
I got shit.
As he walks right back into frame. No, but I think LeBron's team is definitely better.
Oh, yeah.
Who I want to win? Definitely Durant's team.
I like those players,
I mean, because that's Levine, that's Zion.
Oh, I hate Levine. I do like Zion. I like Tatum.
I like Levine because he's the Chicago guy.
Levine's having
And then we got Tatum.
And then
I think Conley's on that team now.
I think so. It's hard to track for me.
But
Because
speaking of him, Conley's an all-star for the first time in his 14-year career. That's some good news that NBA fans are.
That's
very happy
shocking to
about.
me. Like that's shocking when you said that before the show. I'm like, how did he not win an All-Star?
Let's see.
Hey, Kev, who's gonna win the 3-point
Come on,
contest?
Mr.
Because
3-point man.
Yes,
we got Steph Curry,
they got-
The best
Jaylen
shooter on
Brown.
planet Earth is winning the 3-point contest, and that is Steph Curry.
And if he doesn't,
God.
Dude, Team LeBron is gonna
Man,
kill
okay.
Team
Damn.
Durant.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really look.
Who's
at
the
that.
starting lineup? Jokic, Curry, LeBron.
Does LeBron have a
Giannis.
Luka and
Giannis.
Giannis.
Yeah.
Yeah, but doesn't Durant have Joel?
Durant.
So-
I don't think Durant's playing.
Yeah, Durant's
Yeah,
not
Durant's
even
not
playing.
in.
No, but yeah, that's why LeBron's gonna win.
So the starters for
I mean,
Durant.
that's a significant
The
advantage.
starters for Durant are going to be Bradley Beal, Joel Embiid, Kyrie Irving, Kawhi, and then Jason Tatum.
Yeah, that team's not too good.
yeah, no.
Okay.
They do
Well,
have
Durant's
Anthony
not
Davis.
playing.
Last final thought. One person each. Bang.
I don't know.
That's it. Okay. Manny.
The Bucks are gonna come out top of the NBA championship.
I have a final
Kev.
thought now.
The Nets are winning the entire NBA Finals.
The Bucks aren't coming out on top.
And go Kentucky guys in the NBA.